How's it going, guys? This is Forensic Forex with Deontay, and I'm back with another video. This is episode 7 to the Asian Session Library. As we can see last night on UJ, once again, this setup played out perfectly. Now we're going to walk you through the steps like we did every single episode, and nothing's going to change. So here you can see we have the New York lunch session. This is going to be 12 p.m. all the way to 8 p.m. And then it's going to be 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. for the Asian Session Open. Then we're going to mark off the 15-minute swing highs for buy side and then 15-minute swing lows for sell side. That's how I'm normally speculating going into the new session. So if we come over here, we can see the same thing here. And this is how I'm labeling it. Many people are asking me, how do I mark off the 15-minute swing highs or swing lows? So just prior to it opening, I'm watching the market and I'm quickly just coming to the 15-minute chart and I'm going, okay, this is an unbroken swing high. That's one. This is an unbroken swing high. That's another one. And there's only two for this session, as we can see. So that's the buy side. So just put the dollar sign to represent that. And then we have the sell side, which is going to be below a swing low. So it's this one here. So we're going to mark that off. And then we'll put the dollar sign underneath it for the swing low. Now at this point, I wait to see what price is going to do going to the Asian side. I'm not trying to predict where it's going to go. Yes, there are moments and times where I do, especially if it's an SMT diversion, if I'm looking at all the rest of the yen pairs. But normally, I'm just waiting for price to go into this session, take a high, then potentially go short. And that's it. If it doesn't do that, it may take a low, then go high. It may not work out perfectly like that every single day, but statistically speaking, it has been very profitable and very successful. I think the win rate for this model happens pretty frequently. I think it has to be over 60%, 70%. You'll see here, once again, each episode I've been showing this. What does it do here? It runs sell side. So at this point, it gives me that idea, where's buy side at this point? If we ran sell side, we need to be running to buy side next. So we need to find a setup to get us long here. How do we normally do that? By way of the 1 minute time frame. That's my personal preference. Many people ask me, why do you pick the 1 minute? Because I want the lowest possible entry, because it's going to be giving me the less risk possible to my equity. The fair value gap here forms. That's where I'm going long. So if you're in the chat on the channel, you saw when I sent the screenshot and everything, I'm going long exactly on the premium side of the fair value gap, not the discount. So the bottom side of the fair value gap, I'm not expecting that. I don't know how much it's going to fill. It may come even lower. And as you guys saw, it came even lower. So normally I'm going with a 20 pip SL, 15 to 20 pip SL. That's generally all my intraday trades are 20 pip SLs or 15 pip SLs. Then I'm going for either a 20 pip TP, so a 1-to-1. But instead I went for a 30 pip one. So that was my first initial TP that I wanted to take off. But you could see how still a reasonable area for price to run up to take out those highs here, relatively equal highs. And then I wait for price to tap into that fair value gap to then go long. And if we play it out, we'll see this is what occurs. And we'll play it all the way through the session. But then I want you guys to notice something. And I said this last episode, and many folks are going to start picking up on it. You can see how the setup is slowly going higher, 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 higher. And we're going to pause it here at 8 p.m. So that's 8. So definitely within more than 15 pips possible here, right? Because that's 30. Definitely got halfway into that. But notice where the fair value gap is forming for this session. Where's the buy setup formulating? Below 8 p.m.'s opening price. Do you guys see that? So when I mark this off, I put it like this, that's 8 p.m. opening price, or Asian open. Notice where the fair value gap is physically forming for this setup. So I'll hide this. The fair value gap is below 8 p.m.'s opening price. If you look back at all the previous episodes, you'll notice any of the setups, if it was a sell setup, the fair value gap most likely formed above 8 p.m. If it was a buy setup, the fair value gap most likely formed below 8 p.m. That's how I'm most likely looking for my longs and shorts. This gives me more insight that I'm going to most likely have a probable setup on my hand. Step 1, rate of sell side. Step 2, wait for the fair value gap, or the busy buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency, and I go long in that fair value gap. And you can see multiple times how price cuts through it, but it's using that zone. It's not like it forgot this fair value gap. You can see how it's using it again. Once again, here, 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 even comes below it, and then finally breaks through and it goes higher. But notice the buy setups are occurring below 8 p.m. opening price. Now, we didn't get the full TP during the Asian session, but we definitely got the buy setup and was well enough profit going into the new day. If you play it forward, you'll see eventually price gets back up to those 15-minute swing highs. So that's another bonus. So even if you don't get, let's say, the 15 pips or the 20 pips and you're still holding and you have a trailing stop, you could still run higher into the other day, and it could then run out the 15-minute swing highs. Let's say you also have already targeted your minimum requirement, 15 pips, 20 pips, 30 pips. This could also be the bottom of a turning point during the Asian session. You could then hold this and potentially hold it through London and New York. I've seen that countless of times where the Asian session is setting up a new leg or a new trend higher, and we can see how it runs up. So if you're in the chat, you saw how I woke up in the middle of the night and I sent a screenshot and said, hey, taking partials here, going back to sleep. And that's exactly what I did. I woke up just to check to see where it was at. There was no fear of losing because I know it's just a 20 pip SL that I had. So if it hit the SL, it's okay because I'm only risking 1 to 2% of my equity. Grand totally. So hopefully this was insightful. This is once again another Asian session model, very simplistic trade idea. Peace.